What is up, folks? Welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute since I've made a video. Regardless, today's video, I'm going to be answering a question that I've been receiving a lot via comments, via direct messages, pretty much all over the place. And that is, what happened to my car? So first off, before I go into the story, I'm going to get my plugs out of the way. Shout out to my girl Rez. This is her merch, not mine. A lot of people, for some reason, think this is mine. I don't know why, but a lot of people thought this was my merch when I posted on Instagram. It's Rez's. If you want to get it, you can go to rez.merchtable.com. Follow me on Instagram at John Hicks, Twitter at Hicks Filmed It, and also go like this picture just because I want to get some more likes on it. That is a soulless endeavor. But yeah, go like it. And also, before we get into this, get in the comments right now. Let me know your guess as to what you think insurance cashed me out for this car. It was a 2008 BMW E92 M3. Many of you guys who already follow my channel, you've seen it countless times before. I'd had some replica wheels on it. It had really high mileage. So worth less, arguably, than pretty much any other E92 M3 out there. But take a guess as to what you think they cashed out, because I think some of you are going to be very surprised. And besides all that stuff, subscribe if you are new to this channel and you want to hear this story and get further updates on what it's like to have your car stolen, and hit the like button if you have not already, because it's very helpful for reasons that I cannot explain. Anyways, so for those who are not in the know, I did have my car stolen. It was a 2008 E92 M3 that I had for about 5 years, I want to say. I had it for 5 years. It was a very cherished vehicle of mine. Clearly demonstrated by the fact that I had it for so long and didn't sell it. Suffice to say, I liked it. However, shut this window, kids are being loud out there. I do have to say, I was on the path towards selling it when it was getting stolen, which is ironic. That led a lot of people to believe that I set up the theft myself, which I already discarded in a previous video as completely ridiculous. I don't think I have to explain any further than that why. I think that's crazy, but regardless, a lot of people thought that I did like organize the theft, which I didn't. I wish that I did, because then I probably would have came out better and I still would have the car, maybe, but I don't. Car's long gone. I'll discuss later in the video what I've heard about the car and its whereabouts, but for right now, let me just tell the story. So I came home one night at around 12:30 a.m. back when I still lived in downtown Los Angeles. I don't live there anymore, but I parked every night about half a mile, maybe like a quarter mile away from where my apartment actually was, because as you might assume, parking in downtown LA is atrocious. The apartment that I had at the time did not come with a parking space. So I was forced to find free street parking, which is far and wide not available in downtown Los Angeles. Just none. Well, there's some, but it's really far from where people live. Anyways, I was parking problem-free for many months in the same spot. Every night I would park on the same street. It was kind of like an industrial type of area, kind of sketchy, but not really. It seemed safe. It seemed safe. That's why I picked it as the place where I'd be parking. You know, here and there, some people would catch my car there. I'd get pictures on Instagram. People would DM me like, yo, I've spotted your car in downtown LA. And I'd be like, all right, cool, whatever. You know, didn't really bother me because I never thought that someone would try to steal it. But regardless, it was, you know, it was out in the open all the time. Overnight, it was there. Didn't have any anti-theft on it. Stupid of me. It didn't even have an alarm. Didn't have a low jack. I always read that stuff doesn't even work. So I never bothered with it myself, but in hindsight, you know, probably would have been helpful. Regardless, the next morning, I woke up bright and early. I wake up with the sunrise, or at least I used to back when I lived there, because the sun would like hit my face every day when I wake up. It would just be like blinding me. So I woke up at about 6:30 a.m. and the first thing I did was head down to my car, because I left my socket wrench in there and I wanted to start changing some of the flats I had on my ridiculous bike collection at the time. I wanted to fix some of the flats so I could have the bikes ready to give away to people. So I hop on my boosted board, I head over to where I was parked, and lo and behold, my car is gone. So my first thought was I got towed, because it's not uncommon to get towed in that part of the city. People get towed all the time. They're extremely diligent with towing out there, because since it's a more of an industrial area, people get towed all the time for blocking driveways, for parking slightly in red zones. You'll get towed. They don't play around in downtown LA. I don't know if you know that, but they hand out tickets and tolls like there's no tomorrow. That is like probably a decent chunk of the city's revenue, I'd imagine, actually. So you know, I thought I was towed. I called the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department to see if my license plate number had been reported as towed. They came up with nothing. I decided to call a couple of neighboring sheriff departments just because. I called Long Beach Sheriff's Department. I called the San Gabriel Valley Sheriff's Department. Why? Absolutely no reason. I was panicking at the time. So I also called every tow yard that I could find within about 5 to 10 square mile radius of my address. Nothing. Absolutely no record of the car whatsoever. So I had no other choice but to call the cops and report it as stolen. Now, this is something that I probably should have done as soon as I came out and didn't see the car. I probably should have done it. Maybe there would have been a chance of finding it, but in reality, it was probably long gone overnight. They probably just took it straight very, very far from downtown LA. I imagine that it was nowhere near where it was stolen within an hour of it happening. Whenever it happened, it must have happened at the dead of night, but I don't know. So cops come. I show this in a video, actually. I have a vlog where I, film when it's happening. And the cops are really nice. They pretty much explained to me that there is very little chance that the car will be recovered, but if they do, it's going to be at a tow yard. I would need to take it out that same night, and I would have to pay to get it out, blah, blah, blah. Standard stuff. But there's never any resolution after that. That was probably, now it has to have been about 2 months ago. Haven't heard a single word about the car. So here's something I'm sure many of you are thinking. There's got to be some type of security footage of your car from when it was stolen. And the answer is yes, there is some. But there's a caveat. The first thing I realized was that there's a camera directly facing where my car was parked at the time of it being stolen. And whether it was running or not, I didn't know at the time. Come to find out that yes, it was running, and yes, there is footage of the entire incident. However, the building that owns the camera refused to share the footage with me, and so did the police department. The police have footage of the entire thing happening. I don't know exactly what that footage reveals, whether it has the license plate of the tow truck that stole it. I believe it was stolen on a flatbed. Whether that's true or not, anybody's guess. That's what I think. As far as I know from the research I did after this happened, E92 M3s are very, very, very difficult to hotwire, nearly impossible. Regardless of if you break the steering column, it's hard to maneuver the car out of its parked position once it's off and stopped. So I think they use a flatbed. I don't know, but the police have footage of it happening, and they haven't been able to do anything about it. I think what frustrates me the most is that I can't have it. Obviously, I'm going to try to get it at some point, but I don't know how to even go about getting it. I guess I could try calling the police department. If any of you guys can help me with that, please let me know in the comments. I would love to have it, but I just don't know how to get it. Regardless, with that footage, they were not able to do anything as far as getting the car back. So as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of useless, but I still want it. What I think happened was obviously the same night it was taken to a chop shop and it was chopped up. One big detail that I may have omitted about the car is it had extremely high miles. At 189,000 miles. So at that point, there are things on the car that had low miles and then parts that had high miles. So like we replaced both of the throttle bodies at like 120K. So they still were relatively low miles, probably had to be replaced again soon, but it had the infamous rod bearing issue replaced. The rod bearings on E92 M3s notoriously get shot around 100,000 miles. And for some cases, it can lead to a blown engine. Luckily, that didn't happen to me. We did the full repair. It was around $3,000, and I did it around 120,000 miles. So it was good. It was good to go for at least, I don't know, another 30,000. And the last big thing that would have been coming up would have been the clutch replacement. Now, that would have been pretty costly, and it would have taken the car out of commission for quite a while. I knew the clutch was starting to go bad. It was becoming incredibly difficult to shift from first to second gear at high RPMs. You just really had to slam that thing in, otherwise it'd grind and skip and it wouldn't shift if you didn't absolutely pull it down with all your force. Even though it was really fun and I really miss doing that. Anyways, that leads me to believe that they parted it out because the car was really high mileage. It would have been foolish for them to try to sell it in any regard as is because they wouldn't have got any money for it and it would have been extremely identifiable. So I was looking like a hawk through OfferUp, Craigslist, eBay, looking for E92 M3 parts, anything that matched something that looked like it could have been off my car. Never really found anything. Tons of people DM me pictures of cars, listings that, you know, look kind of like my car, but they weren't. Lots of 2008 E92 M3s. Basically, zero resolution. The cops never found it. Nobody ever found anything about it. Now, the one tip that I did receive from a source that I will not name was that the car was taken the same night it was stolen to San Bernardino, to a chop shop there. But from there, he had no further information. Now, the guy who told me this, he may have known everything about the theft. He may have known everything about where the car was, what happened to it, but he didn't tell me shit. Basically, he told me that he didn't have anything to do with it. Whether that's a lie or not, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter to me at this point, so I kind of just swept it under the rug. I never tried to look for the car out there or anything. I just chalked it up as a loss. I knew I was going to get dealt with via insurance and everything would be okay to a sense. So that gets me to the actual point, is what did insurance do about it? Insurance was like super easy to deal with. I gotta say, like, I've never had to deal with this ever in my life, like reporting a stolen car to insurance, but dude, it was effortless, basically. There was very little questioning involved. They had the police report and they went off of that. I guess they looked for it for about a month and they sent me a check. And I guess how they calculate this check, I always thought that it was based off of the value of the car when you buy it new. Obviously, that's not how it works. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe it does in some cases, but they cut me a check based off of the market value. So some people remember back when I did a video where I took my BMW M3 to Carmacks to have them do an evaluation for it, and they gave me a offer for $8,000, I think it was. I got to double check the video, but I'm pretty sure it was $8,000. And I remember thinking that was ridiculous at the time. Like, I was like, you really want to give me that for this car? Like, I could have sworn it would be worth at least $20,000, but I mean, I guess that's the point of Carmacks. They severely, you know, underball you, or whatever the term would be. They give you a very low offer and they expect you to take it. Obviously, I didn't take it. I just did it for the video. They calculate that pretty much based off of the Kelley Blue Book value, as far as I know. And that is pretty similar to what I believe they calculated my insurance payout off of. So I went on Kelley Blue Book and I optioned my car and gave the odometer reading that it had, which was 185K at the time it was stolen. And I reported it as good. And this is what Kelley Blue Book said it would be worth in a private party sale, just shy of $9,000. Now, if you go on Craigslist, even in, you know, just LA, you're not gonna find an M3 anywhere close to that. The cheapest I could have sold mine for would be like, I don't know. I could have got 15,000 for it in an easy sale, I believe. Like in a quick sale, I could have got 15K, maybe 14. You know, if I just really wanted to get rid of it and someone lowballed me, I'd take 14, but there's not even one for sale for less than that. So anyways, what they gave me, drum roll please, $10,800. They gave me a check for that much. Although I was trying to sell the car at the time it was stolen, I do think that's kind of low. I think it's kind of low, but at the same time, at this point, I'm just ready to be totally done with it. I didn't argue it whatsoever. I don't know how I could even try to get more out of it, but I don't want to. I just want to be done with it, move on. I had the car for many years. I enjoyed it, whatever. So get in the comments, let me know, do you guys think that was a fair value for me to be cashed out for the car at this point? Like I said, doesn't really matter. It's already over with, but what do you guys think? Is that fair? Is that higher than you thought? Is it lower than you thought? Get in the comments with your thoughts. Let me know if you would have been upset at getting that much. Would you get another BMW M3? What car would you get? If your car was stolen today, what would you get as an upgrade or just something else? I'm trying to figure that out now. But anyways, that is the full story for everyone who's been asking me through various platforms what happened to my car. That is everything I know at this point. And also, what car would I get next after having such a great sports car? I don't know. What compares to the E92 M3 at that price point? Not many things. You either got to spend a lot more money to get a little bit more car, the law of diminishing returns, or get something really cheap and build it up to be really fast, but then you have a cheap car. The E92 M3 was like the perfect balance of luxury sportiness. It's going to be hard to replicate that. Would I love to get it back? Yes. What would I do if I got it back? I'd turn it into a race car. I'd probably strip it down to absolutely nothing and make it fast as possible and start tracking it or something. I don't know. I'd do something fun with it, but odds of me getting it back at this point, slim to none. I've already accepted that it's gone. It might be out there somewhere. If you know, give me some info. I'll buy it back. Shit, I would buy it back. I would buy it back at a fair price. Maybe. I'd like to just get it back though, but it's gone. Anyways, subscribe if you have not. If you enjoyed this tale and would like to hear more, let me know. If you want to hear more just things, more stories, because this is pretty fun. Hit the like button, comment down below, anything, absolutely anything, whatever's on your mind. Love you guys. See you in the next video. Peace.